Hi, I enjoy social media. I'm no different than anybody else. I think a lot of us enjoy it. My favorite happens to be Instagram. The reason why I like Instagram because I love watching the reels. I love listening to the lives. I also enjoy looking at the pictures and scrolling and reading what other people's comments were and how they resonate with me or if they don't resonate with me. But you know what? We all enjoy that. We all love the noise, the colors, the bling bling, whatever it may be that people are posting. And so because of that, I started paying attention to how much time that I am spending on social media. Well, I spend quite a bit of time, just like everybody else, but I also found out that 47% of us adults spends time on social media instead of doing whatever tasks we were doing prior to going on to social media. And I'm not talking about just the people that have online businesses that they're working in companies that they're trying to maintain. I'm talking about we do it for entertainment purposes. And then out of that 47 or 48% that of people that spend their time, adults that spend their time on social media, that between 15 and 20% of them have a chronic issue with using procrastination as a form of being on any type of social media um, stage that they of their liking. And so, with that being said, I started thinking about, you know what, when I'm doing this, when I'm on social media, basically what I'm doing is I'm procrastinating. And procrastinating is where I'm delaying doing something or I'm postponing doing something. The challenge with that is that there's many cases where when we tend to procrastinate, it takes over our well-being and our identity. One of the things that I recognize is that procrastination is a time waster. Once again, we will spend hours on social media. We will spend hours doing something that we want to do, like talking on the phone, watching TV, or whatever the case may be, or hanging out with our friends, going out to parties, staying in church, whatever it may be. We will spend hours doing that. I also realize that it also impacts us as it impacts our relationships. It impacts our places of employment. It impacts any place that is important enough to us that we're supposed to be performing a task and we choose not to perform that task. There's times where it overflows into that area. It overflows into, you know what, I'd rather go and join this sports team than I would doing my homework for the day. Or I'd rather go out and party instead of going and taking care of my elderly loved one. Whatever the case may be, I'm just giving you some random examples right here. And so but one of the things that I started noticing about procrastination is that procrastination not only does those things plus more than what I said earlier, procrastination is used as an escape from our pain. There's times many of us have struggled with rejection, with anger, with losing a relationship, losing a loved one, with grieving, mourning, with doubt, with being angry, with not feeling good enough, not believing in ourselves, and the list can go on and on and on. And so we found out that instead of dealing with that pain, if we just ignore it and pretend that it really didn't exist by doing something else, then it's okay because I don't have to deal with this. But I want to question you and I want to ask you this. How much time are you willing to spend procrastinating instead of dealing with the pain? How much are you willing to lose instead of dealing with the pain? In other words, how low do you have to go before you realize that I need to deal with this? Because a lot of us will say, I'm a committed person. I'm a person of accountability. I will be there for others. I will help others. But how can you help others when your thoughts and when you're not dealing with something that's harmful to you or something that has been harmful to you? We can't just keep ignoring and saying that that's going to go away because it doesn't go away. What it does, it becomes like the elephant in that room where the pain grows so quickly that we tend to walk around it because the elephant is so big that we can't climb it, or the elephant is so big that we can't even get close to it. Another example of what that looks like. I know someone that just doesn't like looking at bills. And I don't know the reason why. It could be maybe they don't have the funds at the time, or maybe they just don't want to pay, or maybe they just don't want to be responsible, or maybe, you know what, they get saddened when they look at the bills that they have to pay. I know I do, okay? Ooh, I don't like that at all. But, putting the bill over on the table or hiding it underneath the carpet on the floor doesn't mean that bill went away. If anything, you're going to gather more problems. You're going to have more money that you're going to have to spend out. Your interest rates are going to go up. And so we as human beings need to learn that we need to stop postponing and delaying things and situations that causes us pain, that causes us grief, that causes us not to want to function, that causes us to become angry, that causes us to become volatile towards other people, that causes us just to disappear emotionally and mentally. So yes, I know it's easy for me to say that because you're probably sitting there saying, well, what do you know about this lady? You never experienced something. Oh my God, if you only knew. I've experienced a whole lot of pain in my life. And so with that, there's times that I will choose to procrastinate for a short period of time. But then I realize that if I don't address it, if I don't stand up, if I don't sit there and say, you know what, I'm worthy of letting this thing go or dealing with this thing, then it's not going to happen. I'm going to be stagnant. I'm going to be where I want to run all the time. And the older I get in life, I realize that we just can't keep running, because when we keep running, we're going to run back into the same thing. It's just going to be different players involved, but it's the same situation. So I learned to look at myself. That's the way I elect to do it. And ask myself the question, what is my pain? What is it that I'm trying to postpone and delay? I ask myself a second question, why am I trying to postpone and delay that situation? Now, for those of you that need to write it down, I encourage you to write it down, okay? I ask a third question, what is the pros and cons of me addressing this particular pain? Because there's a benefit for everything we do. There's a benefit for why we do address something versus why we choose not to address something. And then sometimes it's because we're afraid of failing. Failing is not a bad word. Failing is actually a wonderful word. You know why? Because if you learn something from your failures, then yay, yay, yay. And the reason why I say yay, yay, yay is because it just shows you that you're able to do something different. You're able to kind of exercise. This didn't work for me over here, so let me try this. Let me try this until you realize what works. And so I want to encourage all of you to know that not only are you marvelous, but that we need to stop procrastinating. We need to deal with the pain, whatever it may be in our life. And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be upset. You just don't want to stay there. You want to encourage yourself to get out of that situation, because you deserve to be able to address your pain and lessen the amount of time that you procrastinate by either using social media or just ignoring the pain. I hope that what I had to say was very helpful to all of you today. And I just want to thank you for the time and the opportunity for me to share this with you. If you are interested in hiring me as your coach, please feel free to click on the link below and sign up for a 15-minute discovery call with me. And then we can see if you're a good fit and if you want me as your personal coach, life coach, that is. I need to be clear. Thank you so much. And don't forget, you are so marvelous.